Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Talk. Hello, mate.
Hi, mate. Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's Spiritual Talk time.
It is. We're back. It's Wednesday. It's do you know what? Day's gone out of my head. What day is it today? It's Wednesday. We know it's Wednesday. It's been one of those weeks, mate.
It's been one of those days as well, I think.
It's been crazy. Yeah.
How are we? Been busy?
Yeah, really busy. I'm just going to get some comments up here. Lou's on. Carol.
Hello. Good to see you.
Leanne. Hi, guys.
Leanne.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Jane. Good to see you guys. Lovely to see everybody on. I thought I'd match you with the time, mate, tonight.
Oh, it's lovely to see you smart, mate.
I thought I'd bet up the game, really. So
yeah, good to hear it. So it's Spiritual Talk time.
Back on, mate. Back in.
And we've got guests this week, I hear.
We got a really great guest. And shall we introduce her and get her in quickly?
I think we'll do it, shall we? Get on with it.
Also, because we are quite lucky because this lady wasn't going to do tonight, we did do a pre-record in the week. But lo and behold, something's happened. So she's available tonight, and we've got her in live. So we'll be able to answer questions as well. And this lady, well, it's a worst kept secret ever. We've been advertising it everywhere, mate, haven't we?
We have. Yeah.
So we've got Jo Bradley in tonight. She is a physical and trance medium, and she teaches a lot and does all sorts of workshops and classes and retreats as well. So she was also recommended by the lovely Elaine Thorpe as well. Let me just, I can't find my button to get her in. Hi, Jo.
Hello.
Hi, Jo.
Good. Welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Thank you.
So this is
a bit like deja vu, doesn't it?
It is very much so. This is deja vu. So awesome. So we are pleased you can go live tonight because it gives people at home the opportunity to ask questions. And I know at least two people at home that are sitting there that are having a physical or trance mediumship experiences at the moment. So obviously having your experience as a teacher on here will give them the opportunity to ask questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
I do have to warn the viewers though, I've got a really bad cough. Somebody's given it to me. I don't know who. I'm not going to put the blame anywhere. But it's like really troublesome. So if I cough, I'm really sorry. You'll have to forgive me.
No problem. I believe we had this conversation before, but isn't it COVID, left over from COVID?
Well, I had COVID in October, and although I was in my bed for a couple of days, I've actually had worse flu, but the after effects seem to have carried on.
Oh, okay.
So that's, so I've had worse flu before, but actually with the COVID, it's just these, I don't know, feel a bit tired and I've been stuck with this cough and I just can't get rid of it.
Well, actually, how does that affect your work, though, as we're talking about feeling
Do you know what? When you're in trance, you don't cough. So you can be really poorly with a hacking cough, constant hacking cough.
Yeah.
When you sit in trance, your trance control will hold you and control you and you don't cough.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting, yeah. Awesome.
Jo, how did to kick things off? How did you get into trance? How did it sort of start for you?
Very badly, Anthony. Very badly. Very badly. It wasn't something that I looked for. Didn't even know what it was. Suddenly started having what I used to refer to as episodes.
All right.
And even now today, with my circle, I go, did I have an episode? It's a very peculiar state of mind. Do you guys do trance?
Yeah.
You guys?
I don't.
I've sat for trance. I did sit in a circle for about 5-6 years with some good friends of mine, and had some interesting experience. But I have kind of dabbled over the years. But trying to find the circle locally is always difficult.
Well, that's why I do a lot of teaching online now. Most of my teaching's online, but then I teach kind of like Australia, America, all sorts. Yeah. But with the trance, I suddenly started having, I didn't know what it was. It was very painful. I'm a control freak, and that doesn't help when you're doing trance. Yeah. So I used to battle against whatever it was that was going on. And for 2 years, really, I battled. But physically I would grow and I would feel like I was about to rip open and an alien was about to pop out. probably some of your viewers are laughing, but that really is how it was for me.
Yeah.
Many years later, once I'd conquered it, of course, my guide said to me, well, we want you to teach it. I said, are you joking? You know, what I went through, I don't think I'm the best person. Maybe you ought to look for somebody else. And they said, but that's why you went through it. Because a lot of the students that come to me aren't brand new beginners. Some of them have gone a certain distance and they've got stuck. And I think I've probably experienced every problem that there really is with trance, you know. And if I could overcome it, then I know other people can. So what they did was they taught me a really easy system, which seems to work really well. I'm not saying that trance is ever going to be easy, but it's easier when you understand it and when you have a set job to do in trance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Joe? A set job?
Well, we have to occupy the mind. So I have a system. And so if I was teaching you, Anthony, you'd be sat there and it would be, don't interfere. That's your job. That's your only job. Doesn't matter what's going on around you.
Right.
That's your only job. Don't come out of doing that. And when we're actually given a job to do and we're multitasked within ourselves, we don't have the capacity as much then to be able to interfere. Eventually, you don't need to really do that task that I give you because you'll be so far into your development, your consciousness has started to move fairly away, and it becomes easier because it's practice, isn't it? A bit like when you first learn to drive a car.
Yeah.
Well, you want to look at your feet and you want to look at your hands and you're looking at the mirror and we're a disaster, aren't we?
Yeah.
And when we first start to drive, we think, oh my God, there's too many things to do. I can't do all this. I'm never going to get the hang of it. And then you do. You get in the car one day and you suddenly realize you've driven a distance and you haven't had to think what you've done. And trance can be a little bit like that. But trance is a journey. So I say to people, don't start your trance journey unless you're really sure that you want to do it, because they also start to alter us. Once they start to alter you, they can't take back or they can't undo what they've done. So it really is, think clearly. Have I got time to start my trance journey? And do I have the dedication to do it? On average, 7 years to develop. That's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
We live in a fast world. Everybody wants it now. So that's why I always say to people, be really sure that you want to do this and then make that decision and just crack on with it, really.
So, because that's a big decision to make, because there's so much to trance and physical mediumship. It's not something to take on lightly. And one of the biggest things you've really got to consider is your commitment. I know a lot of the mediums we've had over here on Spiritual Talk over the time talk about the commitment to sitting, to meditation. But then when you take it to another level and go into trance and trance and physical mediumship, it's another level completely. You really have to surrender. There's a physical element to it as well. So if anyone's sitting at home, Joe, what would you say if someone was considering that? Because you said about like make your mind up and doing it, but what would you say to someone that was really thinking about going on that path? Because it is a wonderful thing to have spirit work with you. We've had the wonderful, and she's just said hello tonight, Elaine Thorpe on, and her gift is amazing. And to be able to sit and serve spirit as she does, and the commitment that she's given is just amazing.
Yeah, I think also you have to choose who's going to sit with you quite carefully.
Okay.
Because with trance, if you've got someone who is quite inexperienced but very keen to hear from the other side, they can push you to a point where it will rush that development and the shutter comes down. So, for instance, for the first couple of years of someone sitting, if a soul was coming through, if a trance control was coming through, the only thing I would be saying is, hi, thanks ever so much for coming. The problem is, if you're not used to helping someone in that situation, we get overexcited, don't we?
Yeah.
Hi, who are you? What's your name? Did you walk the earth plane? Where were you born? Where did you die? Did you get married?
Yeah.
How many kids? Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, the trance medium can hear all of this. The more developed we get, the further we move away. So it becomes where we're almost overhearing a conversation, but we're far enough away that we can't interfere. But that takes a long time. So can you imagine? You might have done practice for maybe 3 or 4 months, and then someone manages to get a hello through. So exciting.
Yeah.
But then you can hear this person in the room throwing all these questions to this guide.
Yeah.
So what do? We answer for them. We're human. We hear a question, we have to answer it. So whatever communication comes through in the early days is quite unreliable, because the majority of the time it's the medium either answering, so surfacing and overruling the guide, or just completely kind of influencing the conversation that comes through. So I always say, when you're helping someone, don't take any notice of what comes through to start off with. It'll be a load of rubbish. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but the guides have to practice using the vocals, using the mind to blend.
Yeah.
So most of what comes through, we tend to just ignore, other than, oh, that was interesting. So there's a lot of patience that's needed. So if you are seriously thinking about sitting, choose someone who you know is going to be equally patient, who is just going to be happy to sit there, lending their energy and ready to say hi if someone comes through. No other pressure attached to it, though. And by the way, Elaine, my opinion, best trance medium in the world.
Agreed. I've
Yeah.
said that too.
Yeah.
And what's humbling is she doesn't realize it.
No, she's lovely.
And the ladies that I used to sit in circle with, they watched the interview and they said, yeah, she's one of the greats, or will become one of the greats for sure. So,
Well, I have a lot of tutors that work for me as well, because I run retreats. So I do access an awful lot of people, and I don't mean it nasty to any other tutors. But in my opinion, she is the best. So if your viewers get a chance to sit with her, sit with her.
Well, to be honest though, Joe, I mean, her story was, I think from a very early age, her father was a physical medium, you know, and so she's had that from such an early age. And the same for you, because your journey started really young, didn't it? You was how old? Because you could hear spirit, am I right in saying?
Yeah, I could hear them. Yeah, clairaudient and clairvoyant, born deaf, which is why I think I had the clairaudience. My mother didn't know I was deaf. I won't say she wasn't observant. But I used to respond every time she asked a question, although she did think I was a little bit slow, because there would be like a time delay of a few seconds. She would ask a question and she used to say, oh, she's a bit slow. She will respond, but she's a bit slow. Basically, I couldn't hear her. So those in spirit would tell me what she said, and then I would respond. So, yeah, I can feel that cough coming on.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We'll keep going.
Out
now. That's so. It's just not nice when you get that tickly cough and it gets you the back of your throat, and you really want not to. And the more you suppress it, the harder it gets. So if that happens, we'll just carry on. But
I'll mute myself if I have a coughing fit, and you can carry on an info.
Absolutely. Because sorry, go on. Go on, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe. So you're saying that you started at a young age picking up spiritual connections.
Yeah.
So from that point to working into a trance level, that progressively came to you over time, that that's how you were going to work, or that was later on when you were older?
I was a prolific sleepwalker.
Right.
And that's early trance development.
Yeah.
But the trance didn't really start until I was in my 30s. So I'm gonna cough. I can feel it coming. I'm gonna mute myself for a minute.
Okay.
What I'm going to say to people while you mute yourself, Joe, is, guys, if you've got a question, please. I'm going to mute you as well for a sec. That's not worked. There you go. So if you've got a question for Joe, this is a wonderful opportunity. If you're sitting for trance or physical, to come on, we'll put the link into StreamYard, into the comments for the StreamYard link, and then just come in and I'll see you at the bottom of my screen. When you come in, I can bring people into the studio. Okay, it's a big question there, and that would be fantastic. So you're back.
Sorry.
Back. That's okay. I managed to mute you, so no one can hear you. Are you okay? I've brought you back now. Okay, awesome. So, as we were saying, if people want to come in to ask a question, think about your question clearly, because to have this opportunity is priceless. Okay, so Joe, you've been teaching for how long, Joe?
Gosh, several years now. 8 or 9, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of experience learned, not just from your own personal journey, but all those that are around you that are on their journeys as well. So I'm just going to cut and paste and put that link into the stream, so people can come on. People have already asked questions already. Here we go, guys. It's going on the stream. If you want to come in, just click on the link or cut and paste it, put it in your browser, and you should be able to get straight into the studio. Don't worry if you're in your dressing gown, you don't have to come on camera. It's absolutely fine. But we love to see someone in their dressing gown and slippers. It's always good.
Yeah,
we do. Okay. So getting back to some of these questions, going back to, there was one from Carol. I'm starting to, it felt a bit like an epileptic fit. And she was referring to that time when you said you felt like spirit were going to come out your chest. And Carol commented earlier, and she's pulling my face and eyes. It's getting easier. Is that something? Is it just purely the blend, Joe, or is that something else?
Yeah, no, it just sounds like the blend, and it should keep getting easier. It's horrible. You can get such physical effects with it. People don't realize that.
So I'm going to, straight off the cuff, I'm going to ask the question, why? Why does that happen? Why are our team not supporting us and helping us on a physical level? Is it because they can't? Or is it?
No, it's not that. It's the human element. It's not their element. It's the human element. It's confliction.
Yeah.
If you feel something come, don't you? So it's just that confliction. So it's not to do with spirit, but you can tell them to slow down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say to them, do you know what, you're approaching too quickly?
Before we let people in, Joe, quickly, you've mentioned about retreats. And I know you said you do them. That's like for a long weekend, or is it just building people up with trance at a beginner's level or intermediate, advanced, or is it?
I do all sorts.
Yeah.
Every year I hold a 5-day where they come and they stay. And it's quite nice because you get to see people socially as well. At the end of the day, you're chilling, having a glass of wine. Very popular. They sell out within about an hour whenever I put them out. So we will have a week where it's physical, a week where it's trance. We do lots of demonstrations as well.
Yeah.
But I've got a whole host of different retreats. So I do like a meditation and mindfulness one, really helpful. I do a psychic detective one, but I also access lots of other tutors as well from around the world. So it really can be quite enlightening. It's, a lot of other countries, their mediums teach in very different ways to we do.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is just, it's lovely. It's very focused. It's a slog sometimes because I put a lot into the program. I believe in value for money.
Yeah.
But I take a chef, so we have wonderful food, and but everybody's supported. They feel safe, they're supported, and of course, everybody's there learning the same thing. So you've got all these other students that are equally kind of on a journey with you. And it's just great because I get the greatest pleasure of seeing someone arrive, and we get lots of people that come on their own. Someone arrive, And they might look a little bit like a rabbit caught in headlights to start off with. Like, whoa, why am I here? What did I do this for? And they might be quite quiet, quite timid. And you see them suddenly start to open up as you go through the journey with them. And I've seen some real transformations with people. It's an absolute honor when you see that. And because I have questions sometimes, what am I doing? Who am I? I'm just this woman sat in this house, you know, in Buckinghamshire. Why me? Why have I been chosen for this? And but I think we're all like that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Why any of us?
Yeah.
Why are some people born with the most beautiful singing voices?
Not me.
So, no, not me either. But we're all here on a journey, aren't we?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just to see that and be part of it is just incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're joining us, guys, and you've got a question, feel free to put it in the messages, but also you're welcome to come in as well. We've got Carol waiting in the wings, but on Carol, I was asking a question earlier as well about the physical things that you feel. Effie's come back and said also, do we then, I'm just going to put it up on the screen so you can see it. What do we do when we feel the physical elements? Do we ignore it? Is it something we just allow, or do we have that communication with our team?
We don't communicate, not when we're doing trance. If you communicate, you're distracting them away from their job.
Okay.
So they're, again, confliction.
Yeah.
We acknowledge the feelings, but then we let them float by. It's a bit like when you meditate. You meditate, don't you? You get an ordinary thought. I'll be sat there. What should I do for me dinner? Oh, for God's sake. Acknowledge it, let it go past.
Meditation is the first level of trance, right?
Daydreaming, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Daydreaming, then meditation. Daydreaming is very spontaneous. We don't have to think about that. Meditation, we have an intention to sit to meditate. It's a form of an altered state. So everybody has the capacity. It's a question. Can everyone do trance? Yes, to some level.
Right.
Some people will be brilliant at it, like Elaine. Others, not so good, but that's not their bag. Maybe they just haven't found where they fit in yet. But we've all got the capacity to be able to experience it on some level.
Yeah.
You never know what that level is until you start the journey, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we got Carol in the wings. Gonna bring Carol in.
Back in 1971.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Pulled my ear out.
Don't worry.
Last night was the first time that I actually felt the ease of the person coming in. Now, you said there isn't any communication, but I heard her sort of talk to me. She told me she wasn't going to use my voice yet. It wasn't time. I needed to be patient. And she also said, when she was leaving, she said, "You're getting tired. I'm going to step out now. Thank you for letting me work with you, my dear." And I feel that I feel already that I know that she is either a Victorian or Edwardian lady. I can feel a sense about her. She was practicing using my facial muscles to smile. I mean, I don't smile as wide as this lady smiles, and she was really pulling my face about. Is that proper feelings that are coming in?
Do you know what? We're all unique. So we all have different sensations with trance. Was that the only time she's spoken to you?
Yeah, that's the first time.
So you may well find that she won't speak again. But what you need to do is go into meditation and build that relationship with her there. So that when you sit to do your blending, you're not diluting anything.
Yeah,
Don't use the trance state to speak to her. You're not there to be used to have a communication, private communication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So keep it separate. I'm a strong believer in intention. Whatever I do, I sit. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to sit for trance.
Yeah, that's what I said, and I offered them all I offered my eyes, my ears, my voice, my nose, whatever they need to use.
Yeah, I would just simply say, use me however you want. But try to keep your communication with this guide very separate. Otherwise, what happens is your intention changes. You may sit there and say you can use me, but the intention is still changing because you're not sitting there to offer your energy, your body, everything about you for a blend to happen, for her to sit and chat to you. That's not what trance is about. So you need to say to her, look, we'll have our conversations in meditation. That's where you will build this strong bond. Then when I sit for blending, she's got full focus, you've got full focus on what you're doing. Otherwise, it would just dilute everything.
I sort of floated off felt like sort of off into the back of my head, back of my brain.
Yeah.
And
some people drop down into their feet.
Ah.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was lovely, almost like I was in a waking sleep sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
that's how early trance feels like.
She was just doing whatever she wanted to do with my face. so that is
wonderful.
That is what it is.
Exciting.
I felt this just like this pure happy essence inside me.
Yeah. Well, she'll be getting excited as well, you see, because she's now got you. She's pulled you in. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do things to us and they go, will they notice? Will they take the bait? Have I intrigued them enough?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she's doing.
Yeah, it was scary to start with because I thought, am I having an epileptic fit? Or
yeah. I mean, the feelings can feel so much stronger when we're sitting for a blend. If it happened to you just during the day, you might sort of go, well, like, what's that? But because you're actually sitting there, and also when we start a new discipline, we don't know what to expect.
No, well, I wasn't expecting it at all. It just did it itself.
Well, she's got you now, hasn't she?
She has. I'm intrigued.
Welcome on board.
So, thank you very much. Thank you for answering my question.
No problem.
Brilliant.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck, Carol.
Thanks for coming on, Carol.
Thanks
no problem. Bye, guys.
We've got a question here from Mary Parfit. I'm just going to drop you out, Carol. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Mary Parfit. So, what is the purpose and benefit for an individual of a trance or a trance journey?
Absolutely nothing. No, I'm joking. If you'd asked me that right at the beginning, I'd go, well, what's the point for me? Actually, every form of mediumship is about healing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is about healing. I do question that sometimes. But we as humans, it's like if we make a mental mediumship link, we have the capacity to interfere in all of that.
Yeah.
If you're a psychic, whatever, right? And although there's every form of mediumship is worthy, and as long as we do it with a true heart for the best reasons. But with trance, if you allow yourself to be used fully, we can't interfere with the words. After a while, you can't get out of the trance in order to reach the guide to interfere. Okay. So the messages that will come through are much, I want to say purer, but I don't mean it in the way, that I don't want people to get the ump thinking trance is always the best way. I'm not saying that at all. But trance isn't just restricted to talking. Trance is used for various other things. So trance healing.
Yeah.
Okay. Trance for physical mediumship, psychic surgery, automatic writing. There are many different ways that they can use trance. So it's not just about being used for speaking. It also focuses us a bit more. Because if you have the ability to be able to sit in trance, you have the ability to self-heal. You have the ability to be able to connect with yourself 100%, because our own mind isn't in the way. So our possibilities are never limited.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's probably the biggest benefit for us as we do it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. Total sense.
Yeah.
Mary has also asked, can anybody do trance?
To some degree, yeah. Some will be exquisite. Others will just will blend, but not to any great extent. But we all have a uniqueness, don't we? We all have our areas that we're really good at. Certainly everybody has the potential to try.
Yeah. Well, I put for my, Mark's put on, can you develop on your own? Here's Mark. I'm going to put you up, Mark. Can you develop on your own as I feel energetic stuff going on when I'm relaxed? Would you recommend sitting on your own?
You can, but when it gets to a certain point, if there's no one there to greet a communicator, then there's little point. But certainly in the the beginning months or first couple of years, you can.
Yeah.
But the whole point of trance is to encourage someone to speak. And the chances are a guide isn't going to come through and go, hello, room, how are you? They want to come through and actually greet someone.
Yeah.
So I would say to develop to start off with, absolutely, no time is wasted, but you do need someone to eventually be there to greet. And also safety aspect. The more trance practice you do, the deeper it will start to go. Now, most people would never get into a problem with trance. If you're a bit tired, you might fall asleep and then you would just come back as normal. But there have been rare occasions when, something has occurred and you've needed someone in the room to go, time to bring her back or time to bring him back now. We have to take control of that, don't we? So I would say yes in the beginning, but you seriously need to get someone when it really starts to deepen.
Okay. At what stage would that be as well, when it really starts to deepen?
You can't give a time on it. Everyone's different. Some people can develop in 2 years. The majority is 7. So, I couldn't even estimate that for you, Paul.
Okay. Also, question here from Lou Kirk. Hi, Lou. You said if you do trance and they alter you, you said you wouldn't be the same again. What will be different? How does that affect people when they've had that experience?
Well, when I say that, I don't mean they alter you as in, you go into the trance state and you're a very quiet person. You come out of the trance state and you're loud and brash. And I don't mean that at all. But they change your energy field.
Yeah.
They make it resonate slightly different. They coat the vocals. That's quite a slow process. So lots of people can get chest and throat problems. They will use you at night. So like you could be laying in bed fast asleep and all of a sudden your arm will throw out or your leg will kick out. And that's because they're practicing the movement. The thing is, people forget about the movement in trance. So when we sit for trance, we don't sit here like limited puppets just talking like this. The guides are animated the same as we are. Now, I talk with my hands a lot. So when I snuff it, if one of my kids goes to see a trance medium and I'm just sat talking through the medium like this, they go, it's not my mum at all. Because I'm very expressive. And I'd be going, darling, how are you? I would be using, but again, they have to practice. So they alter us. We will resonate slightly different and we do feel different. We can't necessarily put our finger on it. But if we walk away, once they've started to alter us, we can be poorly. Excuse me, stop the coughing. Don't start that again. Turning myself off here. So it can actually make us ill if we walk away when they're mid-changing almost. And I've seen that with people. And I've said to them, you're ill because you stopped doing your trance. You need to come back, do your trance, get yourself through this period of adjustment, and then you'll be fine. And they are.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
What about dietary considerations?
I don't take any notes of dietary at all. I'm really bad. I eat chocolate, I drink Prosecco, and I'm terrible. Some people swear that diet helps.
Yeah.
It's never been an issue for me. I think that's personal choice.
What about the environment, Joe, that you're in, like the room?
Well, you need to be in an environment really that, you haven't got loads of phones going off or whatever. But also I say, don't learn trance in the silence, because we don't live in a silent world.
Yeah.
So natural, normal noises. So I teach a lot of people, like I say, over the internet. I say to them, when you do your practice, open the window, sit by the window. If it's a window where you can hear traffic. Because the thing is, if we learn and develop in the silence, people can be not very good at listening to instructions, you see.
Yeah.
So you could go to a demo and you might have 20 people there and you go, everyone take your mobile phones off. Yes. Guaranteed you're just going down into the altered state when a mobile phone, oh, sorry, thought it was off. Yeah. So if you are not noise tolerant, that's what I do in my students, we make them noise tolerant. So that if there is a sudden noise, they're not going to suddenly be jolting.
Yeah.
So never sit in absolute silence. But don't sit in a room either where the house phone's going to start ringing.
Yeah.
So we don't put ourselves in actual harm's way, but we do make sure that we're sensible and we're used to odd noises that aren't going to make us jump.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Mary's put. I'm with you on the chocolate though. Not so much the prosecco, more the red wine. But thank you for that, Mary. Does it matter having a better diet though? Does it help us with the finer energies, being able to blend with the finer energies? Someone described it to me as a guide from the higher realms coming in to connect and blend with us is a bit like an adult trying to put a baby grow on.
I can't really comment on whether it's going to help because only once did I follow the advice. I went and had a reading many, many years ago with a medium. And he said to her, I'm being told that you need to become a vegetarian. I said, why is that? So he said, well, your guides want you to be a vegetarian. Well, actually, as it turned out, he was a vegetarian. Okay. So I did. Okay, fine. Whatever it takes, I suppose. So went home, made the conscious decision, I'm going to be a vegetarian. And 3 months later, I was so badly anemic that my doctor threatened to give me a blood transfusion.
Oh, wow.
So it didn't suit me at all. Obviously, my guides then said to me, when I questioned, they said, well, you didn't ask us. I said, well, it's personal responsibility. I make my own choices. And they went, yeah, but actually you're not built to be a vegetarian. So it's personal choice. It's what suits you. That's what I would say. It's what suits you. How do you feel about it? Don't do things just because other people say you should do them. That's what I say to people. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, we've had Elaine Thorpe just comment. She's coming through on the Spiritual Talk group.
Hi, Elaine.
And she said, because that's why it comes up as Facebook user, because there's different privacy settings in there, Elaine. So I'm so sorry. I found that since I ate better, I just feel cleaner inside. But trance communications gets better with trust, not so much with what you eat. So
yeah, so it's not really to do with food. She's saying it's the trust element, and it is trust.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We've got Ashley, best advice. She says, Annie Bell says best advice. This is Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Joe. Do you have any tips on how to tap into the apport vibration? Also, what do you think about ascended masters?
Apport vibration. Literally apports. Does everyone know what apports are?
Yeah, and many masters have done apports. Like, say, Baba famously used to bring gold eggs out of his mouth or coins. You know, there's a gentleman that we were supposed to have last week who's coming on in a few weeks' time. He also does apports. So yeah, is it a thing? I mean, I've had things disappeared and I've been told they've apported.
Well, many years ago, there was a medium called Kathleen Barkle, and she used to work in London. Can't think who she worked for now. One of the spiritual organisations many years ago, like wartime, and she was an apport medium. That's what her physical mediumship comprised of. And for a week leading up to it, she would gain body weight of up to about a stone in weight, I believe.
Wow.
And she would have, and her body would swell. It wasn't actually her body swelling though. It was actually her energy swelling. And so she would hold a seance and many apports would arrive. When we look at apports are of the energy. So they actually get stored in the aura. But what they do is they will grab an object. They will heighten the vibration. When something moves really quick, you can't see it, can you? You know when you move something really quick?
Yeah.
You can't see it. So what they do is, and it's an easy way of describing apports really, is, so if I was having a seance and they decided they were going to bring a couple of apports, they'd be sat in my aura before the seance, but they would be resonating at a much higher vibration to us here. So you can't see them.
Yeah.
They're not solid in our world. Apport mediums, and I have had quite a lot of apports, I have to admit. Either you have the right physicality for them to use and store in the aura, or you don't.
Yeah.
That's what my guide said to me. It's either born into your physicality. Isn't generally something that would develop later on. It's either part of your mediumship or it's not. It's not like sitting and learning trance. I don't know if that answers the question for Ashley. But yeah, does Ashley sit for?
Yeah, she's also asked. She does, and she's also asking your opinion on what you think about ascended masters. That's a big subject, isn't it? That's not just something you can. What do you think about? That's kind of a big subject to kind of give a.
It is. I think you ought to do a separate one on that. Really.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Which is the Michael Shane that we've got coming on next week. He works a lot with the ascended masters, so.
Right. I don't think I do.
You don't? You're okay.
No, I don't think I do. But I say that. The only masters that I am personally aware of are those on the spirit side that work with me. That's probably ignorance on my part. There are many levels, though, you see.
Yeah.
But I'm such a grounded person. And I think your mediumship will be, it reflects your personality. So I'm a very grounded, not necessarily a black and white person because there are so many grey areas, but it has to be shown to me here in the physical world for it to become part of my truth. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
If someone tells me about something, I never dismiss it. I go, well, that's interesting. But it never becomes my truth unless it's something that I've actually witnessed for myself. So this is why I always struggle a little bit with masters, ascended masters, etc., etc. See what I mean? So I always sort of go, oh no, well, I'm just an infant school student. Do you know what I mean? I just have the infant school tutors that are kind of teaching me. But yeah, ascended masters probably better to speak to your next week's guest than me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ashley.
Well, next week we got Charlie Kelly, but I think Michael's on the week after.
Oh, okay.
But we'll bring him on. So so much, guys. If you want to come in, please jump in and come and say hello as well. We don't mind. We've got about 15 minutes before we go to the messages. But Joe, we really haven't talked much about how it all began, have we? We kind of skipped over that, went straight into the, everyone wants to know how to do trance, I mean, and physical mediumship, and it's such a not a difficult subject, but not a well talked about subject.
No, it's a vast subject.
Yeah, and it's such a discipline as well. I mean, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest discipline for me was trance.
Yeah.
Physical, well, I mean, I genuinely thought everybody just had phenomena. I genuinely thought that. I just thought it was a normal, natural thing because we've always had it. Although I never knew it was a form of mediumship, I just thought it wasn't happening everywhere. You go. And it was Tony at the college that gave me this label. Oh, you're a physical medium. Oh, all right. What's that then? But we do live in a labelled world, don't we? That's the problem. But I never really knew what it was. But I just would sit in a chair and things would just happen. It wasn't something, that I had to almost focus on. We would just sit in the chair. And, if something manifested or if a voice manifested or a trumpet flew around the room, that's how it was. So people, sort of say, how many years did you have to develop this? And, well, yeah, of course we did. We sat in a circle once I knew that it was a form of mediumship and that, the possibilities were endless. But it was the trance that I had to have the discipline with. Once I got over the shock and horror of, how it felt to have your body almost feeling like it was being ripped apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the physical, literally, I remember one particular time I woke up, and at the time I'd got like a crack in the curtains. I hadn't pulled the curtain shut, and the moonlight was coming in. And as I woke up, I was laying on my back, and I thought, oh, that's unusual. I never sleep on my back. And as I opened my eyes, the moonlight had come in through the curtains, so the room was quite light. And there was this long thing protruding from my mouth. And I laid there thinking, what's that?
Yeah.
Really like, what's that? But I knew that I couldn't move as well. And as I'm thinking, what's that? It started to move back in. And after I couldn't see it anymore and it had disappeared, I sat upright. Well, I'm okay. God, what the hell was that? And it was actually a psychic rod that was protruding. So they will use you while you sleep. They will use the duvet as a cabinet.
Wow. So psychic rod, what is a psychic rod?
Yeah,
a psychic rod is ectoplasm.
Okay.
But a psychic rod, so very often if they're flying a trumpet around the room, it's operated by a psychic rod, which is made of ectoplasm. Ectoplasm can come from your nose, your eyes, your mouth, literally any body orifice. There was a very famous medium called Nina Crandon who actually had her ectoplasm drawn from a lady part, which I don't think I would like. But, literally this ectoplasm would come up from underneath the table and form a mass. And she was married to a doctor, I believe. I don't think I would probably be particularly keen on that. But yeah, so psychic rods, so they can be as hard as steel. It can be as soft as snow. And what they will generally do is draw ectoplasm, and then it's like just a long rod, which they can move. They'll attach it to the trumpet, pick it up and fly it around the room.
Wow.
Initially, when they're getting used to using this, they'll drop trumpets. People think they're really skilled to start off with. Well, no. But it's quite fascinating to see it. To answer your question, that's what a psychic rod is.
How old was you when this happened, when you was in that sleeping environment?
In my 30s. Yeah, in my 30s.
And you just accepted that without having any fear? Or?
Well, it was a little bit. I've never been fearful.
Right.
Never been fearful. The only thing I was fearful of, or not really fearful, but not particularly happy about, was the trance, because that I'm a control freak, and you know, I like to be able to choose when, how, this type of thing. So the trance was a real shock for me. Physical, like I say, we've always had a lot of stuff that goes on. I think I told you guys the story of my father on his deathbed.
Yeah.
So, you know, that when something comes very naturally to you, you don't have a fear because it's normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably to other people, it might scare the bejeebers out of them, but no. And of course, I've always heard spirit speak and I've always seen them. So, no. All good with the physical.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, guys. Have you ever had, because there's a couple of questions within a question here, so I'll try and do this as best I can. In terms of your relationship with your guides, is there any point you worry about the connection, they're genuine, and how do you necessarily, so someone at home listening, how do they create that total faith of surrendering to an energy or an entity that you don't really have any kind of, so from a layman's perspective, how do you truly know the energy you're connecting with? Okay. Is there a buffer system? Is there a fail-safe? Is it purely just trusting your guides? But then, of course, you've got to have that initial trust with your guides and knowledge who your guides are, or to some respect, because some guides don't even want to have that. Do they just want to be a part of your team? So sorry, I'm going to go off on a tangent, but where do you start with all of that? The whole trust and the connecting with your guides, understanding who they are, you know, in terms of also their vibrational. And is there a narrative in terms of what the guides are coming through and saying? So, but in terms of where the level of where that particular guide resonates or coming from?
Well, as you can imagine, I've got quite a big team because we, in the physical circle, over 150 souls work behind the scenes.
Right.
There are 7 main guides that come forward.
Did you say 130, Joe?
150.
150. Wow.
In the physical circle, yeah.
Okay.
They call themselves workers. They don't necessarily call themselves guides.
Yeah.
But there are 7 main guides that come forward for that. The thing is, with a physical circle, I don't think we could have an understanding of just how difficult that must be.
Yeah.
They don't have a body.
Yeah.
They don't have hands. They have to manifest this. And also, when you have a physical circle, it's like they take certain elements from this side. So they draw ectoplasm and they'll take a little bit from each of the sitters as well.
Yeah.
And it's like they have a big mixing bowl in the middle of the circle. And then they'll add elements. They have to make an energy that they draw so that they can use it to maneuver or reveal themselves, show themselves, speak through voice boxes. Have we got any idea how that's possible?
Yeah.
Have we got any idea what that takes? So to have a team of about 150, and they do say every single one of them is crucial to make it work. So, you know, what do they add in with the ectoplasm? We have no idea. They say, well, how can we tell you or explain something to you when you don't have it in your world? It's a bit like someone saying to you, Paul, oh yeah, so-and-so over there is blind, but they'd like to know what the colour blue looks like. Could you tell them, please? What are you going to say? Well, it's the colour of the sky. Well, I don't know what the sky looks like. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the colour of the ocean. Well, I've never seen the ocean. How do you explain something that we don't have access to? I trust my guides, probably because I hear them as well. I'm told by many people, oh, you're lucky because you've got clairaudience and you can hear them talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true. So I suppose It probably relates more back to my childhood because my guides taught me how to speak. They didn't teach me wrongly. They didn't teach me, like rude words, or I didn't shock my mother. I would respond. So I think the trust comes through their actions, through their words, and over a period of time. That's what I'd probably say.
Yeah. I mean, in my experience, it's been at the unconditional love that I felt from them. And then the narrative and what they're saying as well. They never judge. They would never tell you what to do. It's all comes within love. And as long as you feel that, and I think that's where you need to surrender and trust. Effie's asked a couple of good questions coming in. Does your guide ever change? Hi, Malcolm.
Hi, Malcolm.
During a massage, or is it message? Is it a massage session at a shopping centre? My masseuse did a mini Reiki session and told me my guide was a Red Indian.
Okay. In your early development, yes, they can change. Your main gatekeeper doesn't tend to, because that's the person who you've got this agreement with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, you go and have a human life and I'll be your guide. Although we don't really remember those types of contracts, but so many people have said that to me. Well, you agreed to come. Your guide agreed to be your guide. Okay. But when you are developing, like your main gatekeeper, and this is only my view, your main gatekeeper is like the headmaster of your school. And it's down to them to decide which tutors are coming in, guides. So we get guides that may spend a short time with us or a long time, depending on what they're teaching us. So everything's always about learning, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then they will drop out. It might be that you've developed in a short time and maybe you've done psychic development, and then you need to be taken up to junior level. So that guide will drop out and another one will come in. I do think you get to a level where, the guides that come in then tend to spend the rest of the journey with you. I'm going to cough again. Stop it. Telling myself off, you see.
Yeah.
Have you felt a change of guide though?
Yes. I know. What about you, Anthony? Have you felt change of guide?
Yeah, I know the subtle differences between them now as well, and also knowing that there's a team and a contract that you would have within a frequency, whether it is previous lifetimes or whether I believe you choose each other and they choose you, you choose them. But whether it's a frequency, of course, of compassion, or they've got a job to do individually, different. Each one's got different ways of helping you to on your unique path within this lifetime. But
absolutely,
and also in previous lifetimes or whatever, you're from a soul level as well. But that's how I would deter the differences, even within everyday life for myself, or even in mediumship. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Effie's asked, do you know how the spirit world decides which spirit will be the one to blend with you during trance? Just curious, she's put. Is there a process of, is it, a process that you've, like I said, I had an agreement with before, or is it just something your level of development?
Do you know what? I tend to find that the trance controls, once they come in, stay with you. They're a bit like the gatekeeper. So whether we have that agreement before we come here to live the earthly life, or whether it's a decision that our gatekeeper makes once we've come, I don't know. I haven't asked that question. It's an interesting question. I will ask. But you don't tend to get a change of guide with trance. And I'll tell you why. When we do trance, it's such a delicate process. So some trance mediums, their guides will allow loved ones, for instance, to blend and speak through them. Others won't. It's because sometimes loved ones can be a little bit overexcitable.
Yeah, I imagine.
And they will come in too quick. They might damage the medium. And then, of course, the trance control is like, oh my God, I've just spent 5 years, getting my medium to how they are. And you just come in and wrecked it in 5 minutes. So I think some of the guides are a little bit precious with their mediums, maybe for good reason.
So on that point then, when you say damage the medium, because I'm really interested in doing trance for loved ones.
Yeah.
I've got the cough now. Thanks for that.
Yay! I've got rid of it.
You passed it on. So
I pass it on.
So when you say damage, because is that something that the medium themselves can avoid in preparation or how they connect?
No, I mean it's to do with the trance control really and the trust element.
Okay.
When I say damage, I don't mean like you're going to come out and have, like physical damage to you. You'll feel out of sorts. And also, when I say that the guide adjusts us, they adjust the energy.
Yeah.
Everything to the spirit world is energy. We're not solid in their world, are we? So everything is about the energy. Another thing, do they jump inside the body? No, they don't. But they're in very close, almost like wrapping an overcoat around you. So it's the energy. So trance controls coat all of the vocals. This is where you start to get voice changes and this type of thing. Now, with my own trance, I'm like you, Paul. I will be placed.
Okay.
Very often they will place me in the last known position. I don't mean like, place me on a beach or whatever. But if someone is found face down, for instance, I think I told you, we had a drowning victim. And when this person came through, apparently I was down, in a floating position. And that's because that was the last memory that, the departed had. Or it's the memory of the person in the room who they wish to communicate with. Yeah. It's evidential. So my mediumship is always, my focus has been, if it's not evidence and it's not going to help people heal, I'm not interested. Right? And maybe it's a little bit narrow-minded of me. But we are all as we are. So you've set your intention as well for that type of thing to happen.
Yeah.
Whether it's because I do physical, that I don't have damage done to me when I get loved ones come in, I don't know. Maybe it's the mindset, because everything has to be about evidence-led for people. It's an interesting question, though, why some would get damaged and why some wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, even from a mental mediumship level, I hear feel the excitement. Yeah. I often try to say to people, the best way to explain it, you imagine not talking for your loved ones for 5 years, they've been passed into spirit. Suddenly someone hands them an opportunity to connect with a loved one. Not being funny, you'd climb over Mount Everest to do that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Well, how many people say I'd give my right arm if only I could have one more conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Joe.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, Anthony?
I just like listening to you. I could listen to you all night.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
With I know you said about, I want to get this straight, not only in my head, probably for some of the viewers as well. As you've mentioned, trance in general, but also trance with like psychic surgery and other. Would you say that it was a different guide with different forms of trance as well, or is it you still sort of the same one that would work with you in that trance in state, whether you're doing it in that way or another way?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's an interesting question. Some people just have one trance control that will do different things, use them in different ways. A lot of people that do trance healing actually will have a separate healing guide. So I do psychic surgery, which is trance, but also physical, because they use ectoplasm. I have a team of surgeons that work with me. So who, say someone had got a heart complaint, the heart surgeon would step forward. If someone's got cancer, then the cancer doctor, the cancer surgeon will step forward.
Right.
So I think it could also be dependent on your other sensitivities. But the main trance control would still be the one that would be going, yep, that's fine. You resonate fine with my medium. You can come in and work. No, sorry, pass. So I think there's one that's always ultimately taking the responsibility from their side.
Yeah.
Can I come back to Claire Moss? And she's been putting some stuff on here. She agrees about your answer about connecting where the energies come from. But she said, but do we trust? We don't actually know where this energy is from. We know where they are there or whether they're there. And told us it's only trust what we hear, though. I kind of want to say it's probably more about your own experiences and your own mediumship as well. And I'm not being critical, Claire, but maybe that there's something within you that's stopping that. I know my own experiences. I've been touched 2 or 3 times. What I can only describe as what I believe to be some kind of higher power.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to experience that. And the love is nothing I've ever experienced in the physical body. So if I'm not overwhelmed or not convinced by such experiences, then there's a problem within me, maybe. I don't know. So and everybody's individual, but she's talking about giving up mediumship. I hope you don't do that, Claire, because I think everybody is a medium, and I don't think any of us can close down. And I think it'll be really good just not putting so much pressure on yourself with that.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please.
Rather than trusting who they say they are, why doesn't she start trusting in herself?
Yeah.
Because actually we forget that.
Yeah.
We have to trust ourselves. Is she gullible? Probably not. Most of us aren't. We trust, don't we? When we make a decision about taking on a job that we're offered. We trust when we step outside the door that the supermarket's going to be open and got food when we get there. I'd say stop worrying about, what they're telling you or what you're feeling. Trust yourself first. That's quite a big thing. So we don't. We go, how do I know that they are who they are? Because we trust ourselves. And also the intention. Sometimes when someone tries to walk away from mediumship, they'll do something and they drag you back in.
Yeah.
Now that in itself should be enough for most people to go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because if it was something bad, actually they would be nagging at you for you to leave mediumship.
Yeah.
Not to drag you back in.
Yeah.
So maybe Claire needs to go through all her experiences as well. Has she been dragged back in by them? We don't always recognize, the signs that they're giving us, signs of comfort, signs of trust, because we're so wound up being too fearful about what we're connecting with.
Yeah. Yeah, Claire's put, I've been traumatized in the last 8 months. I've no one to get help from. I'm in tears here. I do trust me. Spirit have attacked me for 8 months. I've sorted it now. It's gone.
It's quite deep, to be honest.
That's quite deep. Yeah, that is quite deep. I'm glad it's sorted. Okay.
Interestingly.
Yeah.
Today I've been sat writing. I write obviously all my own workshops, my classes, etc. And I've got a retreat in June that's running. It's a 3-night retreat.
Where's that?
It's called Tackling the Dark Side.
Where's that?
In Somerset.
Oh.
Handy.
Yeah.
It sold out months ago.
Oh,
strangely, one room became available today. That's weird. But anyway, true story.
There we go.
Can you
But
get
it's
2 on
called
that?
Tackling the dark side. And when I first put it out there, people went, "Oh my God, oh my God, is it going to be scary?" No, the idea behind this is actually knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Knowledge takes away fear.
Yeah.
When we learn to be able to take a step back, then we forget to be fearful because we've taken a step back and gone, "I've taken control of this situation. Now let me see what this is about." We get caught up in it, don't we? "Oh my God, did you hear that bang? What was it?" Right? We watch a horror film. We're behind the sofa. "Oh my God, is it?" Why are you watching it if you've just got to peer over the top of the, you know? I don't really understand fear with anything that goes bump in the night so much as a lot of other people, because I suppose I'm used to it. And I'm more scared of the living than I am the dead.
Absolutely.
Oh, I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But a lot of what people go through, unfortunately, fear, imagination will expand it all. Like it's out of control because in our head it's out of control. And that's because we don't know what we're dealing with. So in our head it is out of control. And then we project that.
Oh, hang on. Sorry.
He shrunk you there, Anthony. Did you see that?
I pressed the wrong button. I was trying to reply to Claire because she said thank you for talking about this.
No problem.
No problem, Claire.
So tackling the dark side is about firstly identifying what it is that you're dealing with, and then why it's happened or what's caused the particular problem and how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's about empowering people.
Yeah.
See, Mark has made a good point as well. Mark has just said, I was aware of the dark side when I was younger, and I felt it was to test me and overcome fear. And that, interestingly, I had a similar experience as I came into mediumship, that I was really fearful of a lot of the phenomenon that I was experiencing. And I remember my guide kind of not laughing at me, but being very patient with me. There really was nothing to fear. But being human, we fear what we do not see.
Yeah, we fear what we don't understand. Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's fear we're going to get harmed as well. If it's something that's just, bump in the night kind of thing, or people think that, especially with what you've explained tonight, Joe, if people, it's just completely a different way of even contemplating life, to have an experience which, and many other, even photographs that I know me and Paul have seen in the Arthur Finley College, for example.
Well,
different images of things which you.
Yeah, because you've got stuff on your Facebook page, Joe, as well, haven't you? You've got a lot of pictures on there of phenomenon as well on there. So, guys, well worth jumping onto Joe's Facebook page later and having a look at some of the pictures she's got. But
I do actually have a video as well of the ectoplasmic voice box, which part manifests during the video. It's only a 2-minute video, but we actually filmed that in white light. Well, I didn't because I was sat there in the chair, but it was actually an ex-scientist who filmed that.
Okay.
He come over to do a few experimental sittings. So my passion really is about, if you go to a seance, don't sit in a dark seance. You can't see what's going on. It's boring. And it's disorientating. There is no reason why physical has to be done in the dark. So, yeah.
So why do we do it in the dark?
Well, I don't know.
Why?
I don't like the dark. It scares me.
Yeah.
Are we coming from red light now and more into wanting to do it in the light? Is that where Spirit's going with this?
No, we're going from, Spirit are bringing their own form of light now anyway.
Yeah.
Which is quite useful. But most people actually sit in the dark, and, if you suggest that you put a light on, red light, blue light, green light, whatever one you kind of resonate best with. But yeah, I've lost count how many people have said to me in the past, well, you can't do it in the light. You have to turn the light out. I go, why? Don't be silly. If we can film a voice box, an ectoplasmic voice box in white light, it shows that actually it can be done.
Yeah.
It's not filmed with an infrared camera. It's just filmed with a normal digital camera that was on a tripod.
Yeah.
Not being touched by anyone, just recorded.
And that's on your website, is it? That video?
No, it's on my Facebook page somewhere.
Right.
I'll have to try and find it. I don't know where it is actually. But yeah, it's
People
an
just
interesting
scroll.
video.
Yeah, I'm sure people will scroll through and find it. Awesome.
You can hear a clicky sound when you listen. It's only a 2-minute video. You can hear a click, 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 click. And that's literally where they're starting to pass air through the voice box. They have to pass air through it. They can't get sound out of it otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Joe, we want to thank you so much for coming on live.
Yeah, thanks,
We really
Joe.
I
appreciate
survived
it.
the coughing fits, didn't I?
You did. But there is one
Yes.
question I'd like to ask you. So, what of the future of trance mediumship and physical mediumship? Where is it going in the 21st century?
I hope straight to the light with the physical. It's my passion. Do you know what? You can laugh at this. I've always had this thing about everything has to be normal. Let's drop the power a bit. Everything's got to be normal. How nice would it be? Saturday, you pop out to the shops, go to town, like you used to years ago. You go to the town, you do your bit of shopping, you stand, you have a coffee. But when you go in the coffee shop, it's not just coffee. You've got people, like me, on the end of on a computer, and they dial in, and I go, "Oh, morning, Anthony. How are you? Oh, morning, Joe. I've got me coffee. Okay, all right, yeah, fine. Let me just sit, see if anybody." And your own loved ones come using the voice box, and I just sit here having a cup of coffee while you're speaking to your loved ones.
Yeah. God,
Now, I do a lot of work, a lot of experiments. I don't mind sitting for experiments because what I say is if it's real, it's real. If it's real, it can be proved. How nice would it be if we could get it to the point where you can have that last conversation because you can hear them yourself.
Wow.
And they're speaking in normal voices like we are now.
Yeah.
Trance is always going to be a journey. Trance, though, as you know, through Elaine, exquisite evidence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually got a
I
reading
think
book
there'll
with
be a lot
Jonathan.
more people doing it, though.
Yeah, I've actually got a reading book with Jonathan, so I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that.
Jonathan's an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, yeah. When we interviewed Elaine, she brought Jonathan through, and I remember Leanne and I could both. The presence of spirit, even where we were in different parts of the country. Like Anthony and I, you're in Glastonbury, I'm in Norfolk.
Yeah.
The power of spirit was just there. I know. Elaine's going to come back on as well at some point.
Good.
To talk more with Jonathan. So I think with that type of mediumship, I think it should be out there. And I know Elaine's doing a lot of work on YouTube and Facebook. And if you guys, if you've not seen her, just jump on her Facebook page or YouTube. Well worth listening to Jonathan. I know some of the viewers that follow us, they follow her as well. And this is why we do it, mate, isn't it? Get the information out there.
Yeah, she's amazing. I've tried to encourage her to come and teach, but not yet.
Okay.
She's so busy actually with bringing through, obviously, Jonathan to help people. I don't think she's got the time to teach. But when I can nab her for a retreat, I will.
I was going to say, do you think? I honestly think that. She's looking forward to coming on again, so I can't wait. We're talking about you, Elaine. It feels a bit weird. If you want to jump on the link, Elaine, you're more than welcome. I'm just going to put it in. Just saying, if you want to come and say hello, you're more than welcome.
Come on in, Elaine.
And that'll be. I'm just going to post it into the comments. You should be able to jump on your phone, or depends on how you're watching it. But you're more than welcome to come and say hi. We would love to see you. But I kind of feel a bit weird. How do I do that? I've just put the link in on the comments. If you might not be able to see it on there. Oh, I'll do it on my phone. This is. Can I do it on my phone? Let's see if I'll do it on my phone. Because you're in a different place. I'm not sure I can do it actually. If you come out of the group chat, Elaine, and go on to Paul Bannister Medium page or Anthony Doveton, and there's a link in there. You should be able to see it in the comments, and then you can jump in. That would be fantastic. We've still got another 10 minutes, so it'd be great to hear you. So it kind of feels weird talking about Elaine when she's listening, but I do think that this lady is going to go very long way. So
absolutely is.
I saw a video of hers recently as well, where she was also developing the box in her voice box in the early days. Yes, please, Elaine, that'd be great. And you'll see the comments coming up because I go live. We go live into about 7 or 8 different destinations, but on Facebook, on the actual group, it doesn't come in. So it depends where you're watching, Sean. It should be on my page though. Let me. I might have to come off this and see if I can put it in. Bear with me, guys. If you want to carry on talking, I'm just going to try and make this happen. Okay, I'm now going to put it on the group. Hopefully it'll come on the group. There you go. Oh, Adam's posted the link, and I've just posted the link into the group. So you might be able to jump on that link. Yeah, sorry. Getting carried away with the technical stuff. So
I think Elaine is a techno freak like I am. I'm not good.
This has been such a wonderful interview though, Joe. We are going to uplift this after we finish and put it onto SoundCloud. Guys, we've got a selection of our interviews on SoundCloud. We're hoping to get onto Spotify if I can work that out technically. Here she comes. This after we finish and put it onto SoundCloud.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
We've got a selection of our interviews on SoundCloud.
I'm fine, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
Good.
Here she comes. You might want to turn. I don't know whether you've got your phone on as well. We can hear my voice coming back.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm fine, thanks. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Hi, Elaine.
Well,
Welcome.
conversations going on there. I had to cut out the other Facebook. 2 tabs open.
Well, we were talking about you. Sorry, I didn't realize it. I just felt a bit weird talking about you, and we were saying how wonderful
No,
you're.
don't worry. No.
Well,
you say a woman's a nutter.
We was just saying that, asking Jo where she thinks the future of trance mediumship is going.
Well, I think there's definitely going to be more of it, and I send a lot of people to Jo because I trust her implicitly as a tutor, because she's been doing it so long, and because she's a trance physical medium herself. I know that I can trust myself to send anyone that's interested in taking it up. So she said quite a few people come from me. There probably will be more.
Thank you, my friend.
I'll always send people to you because you're brilliant. You know, you're so dedicated and you're doing everything right. You know, when I went to K, it was just everything was automatic. Everything was an experiment. But people have to know about the other side of it. They're going to be doing it. I have seen the dark side of it. I've experienced the dark side of it that you were talking about, and I had to go to what it was as a young lad came to our physical circle. We were trying to practice for it, and of course in those days we were doing it in the dark, you see, and we didn't know he had these attachments with him. And he came and sat with us, and well, of course I was vulnerable in the trance, and I guess it was sent to me as a test to know that you should always open in prayer and protect yourself and close in prayer when you're doing that sort of thing. So I was taken to one of the medium's house, and she dealt with naughty souls that would enter into people's lives. She does a lot of it remotely now. I haven't seen her in quite a while. But she said about it, and she took me to her house, and it took me an hour to be cleared of 5 souls that formed a collective, and as one, and it was quite a wearing experience. But afterwards, I felt very clean and clear and healed.
Oh, wonderful.
And it was a lesson for me to be careful who I had sitting in the group with us, because you don't know
No.
what energies are walking
Not
around.
everybody's mindset is pure, is it? That's the problem.
Yeah, so I said to Spirit after this, I said, right, I said, I'm not having this. I said, you either do things in the light with me, or that is it, I'm walking away from this. I said, you do it properly, or you don't do it at all. So after that, they would test you and everything, and I thought, well, I've got to learn myself as well and how to protect and do things properly. And this is the way we work now, and I won't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Trance mediumship is, I don't think it's to be entered into lightly, because it's something that you are delving into the deeper form of mediumship. So protection is needed. You become more sensitive to people's energies. You can walk in a supermarket, or you can meet a person and you can start to sense energies a little bit more than what you used to. You become quite sensitive. As well as empathic. Even any other mediums, doing clairvoyance and things become that way. You become more sensitive to things, more sensitive to things that you can't see, which are energies around people. But I think trance, having said that, I think trance is a good thing. It's a wonderful way of having that deeper connection with spirit. And I'm so happy to see that younger people are now coming into this, old souls that are young, like yourself, that are coming into it. And I've noticed more men are coming into it as the years have gone.
Which is unusual, isn't it, Elaine?
Yes,
that is unusual.
That men aren't mediums, but they some of them shy away from it and say, "Oh yes, well you go and do your funny thing." But young men are coming into it, and they're old souls. You only have to look into their eyes, and you can see that they've had many lifetimes. And I'm so happy that when our generation goes off of this earth, that we've got them here,
left a legacy,
carry it all on.
But I honestly believe that your work will leave that legacy as well, because I think you've inspired people that I know to look into it, and take it up. And that's again, that's the whole karmic thing, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I think
Joe, what you're doing, you're and Joe as well, the work and teaching. You're sowing the seeds for the future generations, and I think that's really important.
Well, I think
it's important, though, isn't it? Well, we have to. And like I always say to my students, I need you to all be really, really good, because when I pass over, if I want to get through to my family and you can't hear me, or you can't allow me to blend and come through, I'll find the biggest chain, like in the Christmas Carol. I'll be rattling it until they get me through.
You're like my dad, you are. He was a physical medium. He opened my loft, and I said, "You scared the hell out of me, Dad." And he said, "Well, you asked for more evidence, so I gave it to you." He literally opened the loft. Nobody goes up there. It's too small. It's too shallow. You can't really fit anything in there. And it's full of the fiberglass stuff.
Yeah.
And he turned it. It's one you lift up and lift the door up.
Yeah.
And he turned it at an angle. My daughter said, "You looked up there, Mum?" I said, "Who's been in the loft?" No one had been in the loft. It was my dad giving me evidence that he was with us. He was a full physical phenomena medium for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And he used to start levitating and things. So
wow.
We're just finishing the book and getting that ebook ready to go out there about Mum and Dad and their journey spiritually. So
okay. So you've got an ebook coming out.
Yeah, we haven't finished it yet, because what was happening, we got delayed because my son and his partner got that virus.
Yes,
they got that flu virus.
Yeah.
And then they got better and kept getting colds. And of course, other things got in the way. And then I got a viral thing, which I'm just trying to get over now.
Yeah.
So all been confidence fluttering, like
everyone's
90-year-olds on 80 cigarettes a day, like all day. But
because you said Manuka honey earlier, and not a
Yes,
lot of
that's
people
right.
know that. My dad used to swear by that.
oh, that's brilliant. It's like an antiseptic in it. It's from the
Yeah.
Australian Manuka bush.
Yeah.
And it's
Is it?
quite expensive.
Manuka honey.
Yeah, Manuka.
Manuka honey.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the only one, I think, with the antiseptic in it. You know,
Yeah, my
Where
dad
do you
used to
find that in the
swear by that.
supermarket?
You can get that from, I'm sure a lot of supermarkets have got it, but I know Marks and Spencer sell it.
yeah, loads of places sell it. You know, it's and you can get it online as well. The good stuff.
Or you just
But
spoon
I
it out the
recommend
jar?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'll
much.
drink the stuff, Richard.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on to Spiritual Talk, Joe, and obviously Elaine joining us as well. It's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
You're
And
right.
we look forward
I recommend anyone on here to Joe. You know, if you wanted to get into trance yourselves, or you, I
Yeah.
don't know if you already are, but if you wanted to get into it, she is a dedicated woman. She's serious about what she does. There's no messing with her. She's not strict in the way of being like an old school teacher, but she won't have any messing about. And
No, I won't.
and people have to be serious about what they're doing with Joe, and that's why I trust her so much, because she's experienced many things, and I've met her physically in Amersham quite a few years ago now. But you
It
know,
was about 3 years ago, I think, Elaine.
was it only 3?
Yeah. That's all the lockdown, isn't it? It's distorted time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we've gone through some sort of time pause.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, but it is. It's
That's
3
where the
years.
Mandela
exactly.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
it's been
Yeah,
very
it's
evident
lovely
your
to-
no nonsense approach, though, Joe, is definitely for people out there thinking
Oh, there's
about,
no nonsense with her. No nonsense with Joe.
Yeah.
and you can't
You
get.
know what? I think, though, with the physical stuff in particular, I work in a man's world. That's
Yeah.
what I do with the physical. And also, we've had instances occur in the seance room. And I won't take no nonsense. I'll just tell you a very quick, funny story, actually. There was a chap in the seance room and he was messing about. And I'm lucky because I'm now at the stage with my work that I can't move from sort of like the neck down, but I can turn my head. So I'm perfectly able to see what's going on and speak. And this guy was messing about. And I said to him, pack it in. Don't mess about in here, pack it in. Well, he carried on. Well, we'd got a spirit trumpet standing on the table. And I said, you don't pack it in. I'm going to pick that trumpet up. I'm going to whack you with it. And with that, up flew the trumpet, flew across the room, started whacking him. Dung, dung, dung. I said, now that serves you right. Right? I was a bit shocked, but I said, now that serves you right. And I suddenly went, oi, put the trumpet down. And literally, when you walk into a room and you suddenly realize you walked into the wrong room, you go and you go, oh, I'm so sorry. Right? Oh, horror, isn't it? And you sort of back out the room. So this trumpet is just hovering. And it was like, oh dear, I've picked the trumpet up. I've whacked him. I shouldn't have done that. Oops. So the trumpet starts going backwards in the air until it gets put back down on the table.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I'm saying to him, now that served you right. What did I tell you about messing about in here? If they hadn't hit you with it, I would have done, right? So, but it's just one of those funny things. But you have to be really mindful of what you say.
Yeah.
That
So
happened with my
literally,
dad.
literal
Actually.
for it.
That happened with my dad years and years ago. I think he called his mother the old dear, and she's on the other side. She'd come round and bonk on the trumpet.
Yeah.
And she left a small cut there. She didn't do it really wacky so she'd get it because it was solid metal. This
Wow.
Yeah.
and it's still got dents in it to this day. I'm sure.
Yeah, my trumpet was up with dents in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no mother jokes in the physical circle.
No,
Okay.
they hear you. I mean, they don't want to hurt.
Don't mess about in my circle because otherwise you get whipped with the trumpet.
Yeah, they wouldn't hurt you and severely injure you. They just give you a little tap.
Yeah.
It's aluminium actually, so it sounds worse than what it is with that trumpet. I can hit myself on the head with it and it sounds metally, but it doesn't actually hurt. But I think it was sheer shock for him. Oh, no, that serves you right, doesn't it? I said. because it was like, I told you not to mess about.
When I was doing my one, I just I changed from my dad's one, and we just put a cardboard one in there that I made myself.
That's a very good idea, just in case someone hits you with it. It's cardboard.
Yeah, if it's only cardboard, it can't do any damage.
Absolutely.
I mean, spirit don't go around whacking people. They love us.
Yeah.
But I know that when my brother came to me in my father's circle, I was only 15. And when he came to me, I knew instantly that it was him. And he just gently stroked my leg with the trumpet. And I never felt so much love in my life. It was just beautiful. So they're not there to hurt us. They're there to love us. And some amazing things happen in my dad's circle.
Yeah.
You know, amazing things. And I learned a lot, you know, about how you should sit. But in them days, of course, they sat in the dark. He never ran around because I knew he couldn't possibly, in his 50s, run around a room and get a trumpet on a high ceiling. Sometimes they would put a red light in there. He went to sit in Iceland. He got invited over to their country. And unbeknown to him, they put like a red light so he could be seen. Well, he never moved out of that chair. And Mickey, Leslie Flint's guide, and all the children still came through, and the trumpet still flew around the room.
So, so Leslie Flint's guide.
Amazing.
Yeah. Mickey's been to me as well. Yeah.
Wow. What was that like, Elaine?
He's quite high pitched in his voice, so obviously if I had a throat like this, he wouldn't come through because it would irritate it. But it feels like he's a very cheeky lad, and he used to come into Dad's circle, but he never spoke through Dad. He would just use the trumpet, and he would spell things with the trumpet, and Mum and Doreen, her friend, would take all the information and write it down. But it was amazing. They could open birthday cards with the envelope still sealed.
Wow.
It's a true power of spirit, isn't it?
Yeah. They make a mess, though. They make a mess. And you turn the lights on, there'd be toys everywhere. The Christmas tree would be on the floor, and it was amazing. But they did everything in a good way, you know. It wasn't like a poltergeist throwing things around. It was spirit playing with the toys, and they'd land in your lap. The toys would land in your lap gently. Oh, it was amazing. Really was.
Brilliant.
As for trance, if you wanted to start, Joe is a good teacher. I used to also.
I'm going to drag you into this teaching lark, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark.
We're not going to escape it for much longer.
Yeah, it's very. I found that when I was, I held a group for development for 2.5 years, and I felt more drained doing the group than what I did doing the trance.
Really?
It took a hell of a lot of energy. And I thought, God, I feel so tired, you know.
And maybe it's not your pathway, or maybe it wasn't then. Things change, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. They didn't take it further, but they were absolutely brilliant mediums.
I think one of the you inspire a lot of people.
Yeah.
You really inspire a lot of people. It's like, I want to be like Elaine. I want my trance to be like Elaine's. So, and I think we all have a role, don't we, to play?
Oh, yeah. Well, all trance is different. I mean, I've experienced quite a few mediums going into trance. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating to see how all the different mediums go into the trance, how they work. I've only ever had one lady with me, and I'll probably end up passing her on to you as she goes deeper, because I don't like it online. You know, I like to be in the room and know that I'm with them. But she let Jonathan speak, and he come through and he said, it's like looking in the mirror, isn't it? And I thought, wow, she's just spoke those words.
Yeah. Wow.
Nothing else, but everything else was, you knew exactly what they were doing, because they would alter her face and they'd impress thoughts into your mind without even having to speak. And I'd know what they were saying.
Yeah.
So if you've got the ability to sit with someone that goes into trance and doesn't even speak, spirit can do mind-to-mind impression without the talking, and the person that's connected with them there, They don't even have to have a word said. They know exactly what that soul is saying to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's amazing the way that they can impress their thoughts onto ours like that. And sometimes they've not said a word and I've just burst into tears. And I thought, how have you just done it? You know, it's so clever.
So beautiful as well. It's just beautiful. And going back to what I think it was Claire, wasn't it, saying about her connection, she was having problems. You know, when you sit with Jonathan, the love from spirit. I mean, when we interviewed you, Elaine, both Leanne and I, in my cabin, I could feel his love. I literally could feel his love. Leanne said the same. And a friend of mine commented on the interview, you and Leanne looked like you'd just got like a real treat. It was a real treat to feel the essence of spirit with us. It was so powerful. And well, it'll be Anthony's turn next time because he'll be
yes, you come on and help out now. Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome. Honestly, mate, you'll feel the energy and the love, and that's what I was trying to say. I know Claire's had to pop off now, but when you connect with spirit in that way, the love is just, there's no mistake, is there, Joe?
No,
there's no mistake at all.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Well, that's him. If you haven't seen him yet, you probably haven't. See, it's this back to front, this camera, but that's
very gorgeous, though, isn't he?
Oh yes, very handsome. I've seen him physically in a dream, and he looks just like that.
He just has a beautiful voice, though. Actually, it's very calming.
Yes, it is. Yeah, reminds me of a little bit like Anthony Hopkins. He's got a lovely voice like that, very calm.
Yeah.
But,
yes. Yeah.
But, people
That's
love
right.
listening to him. One lady used to come to our circle, and she said, I don't come for any evidence or anything like that. She said, I only come to hear his voice because it's so beautiful to listen to. I thought,
Rhythmical.
He probably fancies him, but he's no good to her. But it's lovely. The love, it goes far beyond this world, the love that they give to us. I mean, I've felt it. But you all have too, but it's different to earthly love. It's just something else.
Yeah.
So I got a spammer. I'm just getting rid of the spammer. He's blocked, guys. Sorry about that. Guys, we've been going and going and going. It's been awesome. It really has. We are blessed to have you on, Elaine, as well. Thank you, Joe, for giving up your time, and everybody that's taken part as well. Come on and ask questions. It's so valuable to have Joe here as a teacher and tutor of physical and trance. It's just been a fantastic evening. I will lift this off, guys, and put it on SoundCloud. If you're going out running in the morning, have a little listen to this interview because it's brilliant.
Elaine's got my cough.
Yeah, I've had this lurgy for about 2 weeks. It's just a cough. I can't seem to.
I've had a cough since October. You know,
since
I can't shift it. Yeah.
Well, for me, then is it? God,
well, everyone out there, we're going to send you guys lots of healing. So we're going to pray for you guys.
Oh,
so you can
thank
work
you.
Yes, please do. We need it.
All the healers out there, please send healing this way, and or even just your thoughts. Your power of prayer is always works. Yeah. Okay, guys, we've got to say good evening. I can't believe it, but it's been brilliant. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me in.
It's been brilliant. Thank you. And
good to see you, Elaine.
Oh, before we go, sorry, guys. The guys have been sharing the program all over the place. Can you see the comments, Joe? Can you pick someone for a free half-hour reading?
Your turn.
Can I see the comments? Yeah, they're saying night all.
Yeah, that's the ones. If you pick someone, go scroll through. It should.
Sandra Keeley.
Sandra Keeley. Okay, Sandra, contact me on Facebook and I can give you a free half-hour reading. Awesome.
There we go. Lovely.
Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll be back next week with the fabulous Charlie Kelly.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, Elaine.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.